People who can fall asleep within 8 seconds of their head hitting their pillow. How the fuck do you fall asleep within 8 seconds of your head hitting your pillow? That's my secret cap, I'm always tired. I'm surprised this isn't closer to the top. I'm always tired and can fall asleep no problem, and I thought a lot of people were like that. But I'm just now realizing that maybe I have a problem. This is what I came to say. I'm so exhausted all the time. If I have no responsibilities to wake up for, I'll easily sleep 15 to 20 hours. I'll fall asleep at my desk, on the bus, on the toilet. As a kid I'd come home from school and just make it through the front door before falling asleep on the floor fully clothed with my backpack still on. I paid for a sightseeing bus tour along the River Nile in Egypt and slept through most of it because I always sleep on car rides. I read books 3 pages at a time with lots of accidental naps in between. My big question is, how do people stay awake and alert for a whole day? My flatmates sleep 5 to 6 hours a night and I get tired just thinking about it. You should see a doctor maybe? Stay awake until you fall asleep in the couch, then groggily walk to the bed when you inevitably wake up. I'm usually more awake at that point than before I napped. I'm a firefighter and my one partner says what he likes least about me is my ability to fall asleep so fast after returning from a call. It helps to be physically tired. Much easier to fall asleep when your body has been engaged in physical activity during the day. I try to lay perfectly still, and not allow myself to scratch my nose if it itches, for example. I just ignore the itch and next thing I know, it's time to get up. I just discovered that there are people with an inner monologue and this voice in their head allows them to have silent discussions and worry about decisions and whatnot. I don't have this. I don't have any voices talking to me. My preference is also to listen to a documentary on YouTube or Netflix. I set my timer on my phone to stop playing after 20 minutes and rarely stay awake till the end. I am very well versed on the first 10 minutes of World War II. What's it like when you think thoughts then? Do you hear them? I never knew there were people without internal monologues. He obviously is an NPC. That is so fucking insane to me that people don't have an inner monologue. Like, how the hell do you think? I have no internal monologue, but I'm a 4 hours lying in bed unable to sleep person. Don't think it's that. How do you think if you have no internal monologue? Like, I just don't get it. If someone asks you to think of a number between 1 and 10, how do you choose? I find it impossible to not have thoughts going through my head. When you're trying to write a paper or a response, how do you formulate sentences? My brother is one of these people, and I asked him this recently. The trick is a clean conscience. I got nothing to think about. Me. How do you not think about anything? I dunno. I just stop thinking. He's 16. Not thinking is the key. I had to train myself to completely clear my mind. Start by cutting inner monologues. Imagine you were born deaf and think primarily in images. Then cut those and just focus on what you feel. The last step is to tune out those sensations. In the beginning, you will only be able to sustain it for a couple seconds, but you'll be able to go longer with time. Eventually, it'll be second nature. In the beginning, my primary goal was to remove the stress of my life for a moment through meditation, but it ended up being a useful way to fall asleep. Also, I don't remember the last time I've woken up in the middle of the night. The only downside is that I sleep like the dead and never dream. I just close my eyes as if to blink, and when I open them back up, it's morning and my wife is pissed that I missed my alarm. This is what I call my straight vibing state of mind. So, basically meditate. Eventually, cars stopped thinking. Deleted. JoJo fans really are FCKIN everywhere. I turn on Netflix, or Hulu, to a show I've seen a million times. I turn away from the screen and fall asleep. The key is that it can't be something you need to pay attention to. Works like a charm for me. I did this only with shows I thought were stupidly boring. One single episode of Star Trek Voyager lasted me 6 weeks. Only problem is I eventually became a fan, am now a proud Trekkie, and the bloody shows can't put me to sleep anymore because they're too interesting. My friend does this. We'll be playing video games, then he'll suddenly be tired and good night. Literally seconds later I can hear him snoring in his room. Like your friend, I also can sleep right away. I've been teased about it a lot growing up. But seeing as how I'm in the minority of people, I must assume that would be because of envy. I'm not sure if other people like me are like this, but I don't have an inner monologue that distracts from my sleep time. Dude, you have no idea how many people want to sleep like you do. For me personally it would be like a dream come true. I've had so many sleepless nights even when I would be extremely exhausted from lots of physical or mental activity that day, it's just awful. The smallest, insignificant thing can keep me up thinking, worrying or panicking about just enough to not let me sleep. I rarely fall asleep within 1 hour, usually it's between 1 to 2 hours. I hate it because I could be a much better person without these issues. You're a lucky guy. Edit. Typo added info. I've been diagnosed with ADD, ADHD Pi nowadays 3 years ago and take medications. The sleeping problems were just the same before the diagnosis though, which was part of the reason why I got diagnosed in the first place. How do you mean you don't have inner monologue? You don't have that voice reminding you embarrassing things you did in 7th grade. No voice telling you that you should text your ex and make that bad decision. Nothing. Man, I have insomnia and none of this shit works. I always laugh at the responses to these. Because most of them are a chicken or the egg situation. Insomniacs don't have trouble sleeping because they look at a screen before falling asleep. We look at a screen in bed because we know how miserable it is to literally lay in a pitch-black room with nothing but white noise for 7 straight hours and never fall asleep. We don't have a schedule because of our insomnia. We don't have insomnia because we don't have a schedule. We work out at night because we spend the morning still trying to fall asleep. When we work out in the morning, it means we don't sleep at all for 48+ hours. We have tried, just don't think about anything. We've tried no screens. We've tried relaxing voices, sounds, podcasts. We've tried meditation. We've Googled every possible thing to learn how to fall asleep. We've tried whatever bullshit herb or sleep aid is popular this week. That shit just doesn't work. It's not our faults. Our brains are just idiots. I remember when my sleep therapist gave me the advice that, if you've been lying in bed for an hour and still can't fall asleep, get up and do something productive that doesn't cause blue light, e.g. sweep your kitchen, and try again in an hour to sleep. It was summer holidays so I had 8 weeks off from work. I work in a school, which meant no commitments. I decided to truly let my body decide when it wanted to sleep. I tried practicing perfect sleep hygiene exactly as prescribed. I didn't notice an improvement in my sleep schedule. I'd be awake at the weirdest hours of the night. But when I was actually tired, I'd fall asleep easily. And more importantly, I woke up feeling rested. Unfortunately, that could mean sleeping from 3 a.m. to 11 p.m.